As photographers, we spend a lot of time blaming the weather, the light, or our camera when things don't quite go to plan. But every now and then, the problem is standing directly behind the viewfinder. In this video, I make a proper rookie mistake, and somehow it ends up leading to one of my favourite photos of the year so far. So, this is as impromptu as a photo shoot can get, I think. So, I was about to get comfortable on the sofa, grab a bottle of wine and get Netflix on when I looked out the window and it was heavy fog everywhere, and I thought, sod this, I'm getting the camera and I'm going out, seeing if I can make a photo that I've been wanting to make for about 6 weeks, but I just haven't had the right conditions, and I'm hopeful this evening it's going to be perfect. So yeah, fingers crossed. So, we've got a bit of rain to accompany the fog, which is pretty cool actually. It's yeah, really damp, which is great for this particular shot. Now, I was here about 6 weeks ago, something like that, doing a video here with just my phone. So I was taking this shot with my phone, and I think it was pretty cool. I was really happy with how the shot turned out. But in the back of my mind, I always knew I wanted to return, and that's kind of what I use my phone for when I'm out scouting, walking, looking around, trying to find locations to go and shoot. And I think that's really important. So today we're here with the OM1 Mark II, which thankfully is weather sealed, and the 12 to 40 f2.8 lens. And I'm trying to get this vertical shot here through the splaying arms of this oak tree that we have here in the foreground, and the single subject back there, which I think looks really cool. At the minute there's a sheep underneath there. I'm not sure whether that's helping or hindering my composition, but I'm going to take a few shots over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so to see if I can really make the best of this composition here. So yeah, this is, like I said, a really impromptu photo shoot, if you will. I was about to settle down and I just thought, hey, grab the gear and go out. Now, my OM1 Mark II wasn't charged. It's got about 20% battery, which is not great. I think my microphone's on about 15%, and yeah, my Pocket 4 is on about 60%. So I've got to be frugal with what I do this evening, but I'm sure we can make some good images. Anyway, yeah, compositionally, this is really quite unique. We've basically got these limbs stretching out from the corners here in the foreground and just really displaying that oak tree, that singular oak tree in the background, which I think is really nice. Now, a few issues that I have with this particular composition are these branches here are so close to me, which means I need to focus stack. So I'm basically focusing down here. I'm at f7.1, which is typically quite a small aperture for micro four thirds, but it does give you a very large depth of field. So yeah, I'm focusing down on the second trunk back, and that gets all of this in sharp focus, and then I'm doing another one back there. In addition to that, the sky is super bright in comparison to the shadows down here, so I'm having to bracket as well, which is another addition to this image, which I didn't have to do on my phone. I just focus stacked it. But yeah, I think it's a bit later in the evening. Yeah, these shadows are particularly dark, and yeah, it's bright up there. So yeah, I'm taking 3 shots, different exposures, and then hopefully I'll be able to blend one image together with a HDR image in the background and just blend those together. So yeah, it should work out okay, hopefully. Anyway, let's go ahead and take these images. Turn my camera on, conserving my battery as we go. And just to tell you how dark it actually is at the minute, at f7.1 we're at half a second, ISO 200. So yeah, pretty gloomy this evening, but wow, what fabulous conditions. Yeah, beats sitting at home watching Netflix anyway. So I think I've got all the images that I needed there for a really nice shot. But as I was taking that last image, my battery started flashing the red symbol. Now, I've only got one battery for the OM1 Mark II. I just have never gotten round to getting another battery, mainly because the battery life on it is really good. And typically, like maybe I'll go out for the morning, it'll be absolutely fine. I'll go back to the van and then recharge it and then head out in the afternoon or something like that. So I've never really needed to buy another battery. But I made the fatal mistake of not charging it when I got home. So yeah, mistake number one for this video. Yeah, make sure your battery is charged as soon as you get back, because you never know when you're going to be going out next. Usually I know when I'm going to go out, but this evening, yeah, not the case. Anyway, let's see if I can eke another photograph out of this dwindling battery, shall we? This place is pretty crazy, very unique. Lots of really twisted dead branches everywhere. Very, very mossy. Yeah, very wet, very damp. It's almost like a mangrove, which is pretty crazy. And I've left the tripods behind. I'm just having a little wander around to see if I can find anything else. Yeah, it's quite spooky as well. Let me flip you around. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Just look at how dense all of this is. It's pretty crazy. You get lost in here. So that's something out of a horror film. So yes, my battery did die on me there, but thankfully the light was kind of fading anyway, and I was more than kind of happy with that one image that I did manage to capture, but I was definitely cutting it a little bit fine, I think. So a little note to myself and to anyone else who's guilty of only charging their batteries the night before a planned shoot. Make sure it's the first thing you do when you get home instead, because you never know when you'll get another opportunity to head out with your camera. And it's one less thing to have to worry about, isn't it? So yeah, get them batteries charged as soon as you get home from a shoot. Now, I've actually since ordered a couple of spare batteries, which is something I really should have done when I first got my OM system kit. So that's another little slap on the wrist for me. I've got plenty of batteries for my Fuji gear, but I just never got round to buying extras for the OM kit. Maybe that's actually a testament to how good the battery life is in that camera. Yeah, I guess I just got a little bit too comfortable, I suppose. So speaking of my Fuji kit, my X-T3 here has finally given up on me. Yeah, I started having problems with it when I was in Scotland. The video kept cutting out, but now it's completely dead. Nothing seems to work. When I switch it on, I've charged some batteries, I've plugged it into the power. Yeah, nothing seems to work anymore. To be fair, it's had a pretty hard life over the years, to be fair. It's taken more than its fair share of knocks and bangs, and actually the tripod did blow over in Scotland as well. Now, it did land on the grass, and I didn't think too much of it at the time, but I wonder if perhaps that's where the problem started. So yeah, I've either got to make a decision to get it repaired or yeah, replace it with something else. My thoughts at the minute are probably replacing it with something else, just because of the amount of shots it's taken and yeah, the amount of video that it's captured. It's probably going to be coming towards the end of its life pretty soon anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking about replacing it. So yeah, please do let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts, what you think I should replace it with, or do you think I should get it repaired? Let me know. It'd be great to know what you guys think, what you guys are shooting on. And yeah, I think it's always nice to have kind of a different kind of backup body, something that's a bit more kind of retro or just serves a different purpose. I'm not a massive fan of having two identical cameras. I know it works for a lot of people, but for me, I like the opportunity to be able to go and shoot with something in a different way, if you will, something that's a bit more fun, I guess. Yeah, so please do let me know down in the comments section what you think I should get next. Now, I did make a print of the woodland photograph, which I've got just here. And although it still needs a few small tweaks, mainly to the saturation and contrast, I'm really pleased with how it actually turned out. You know, I think probably foggy woodland scenes are surprisingly difficult to process because you're constantly trying to balance detail and clarity while still holding on to that kind of soft atmospheric feel that made you stop and take the photograph in the first place. I think it's very easy to go one way or the other, yeah, too far. But more than anything though, it's just absolutely great to be able to make another print. It's something I haven't been doing nearly enough of recently, and I really want to get back into that habit. I've not really got a good excuse other than lack of time for, yeah, not making prints recently. But seeing this image on paper really reminds me why, you know, it's worth making the effort. It's so good to see your final image on paper. It really is. So I suppose the moral of this week's story is to charge your flipping batteries up before you go and make some prints, because it's super rewarding. By the way, if you have a look down in the video description, you'll find links to all sorts of photography resources, including my ebooks, photography tours, my free guide, Lighting the Landscape, and all the gear I used in this video. Yeah, feel free to have a browse. There's hopefully something useful down there for you to take a look at. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a quick like, and if you're looking for something else to watch, I'll leave a video up here somewhere that I think you'll enjoy as well. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Take care.